Going on, everybody? Welcome back. Looking at the Friday slate, 7 games tonight. Hopefully, you guys had a good Thursday slate. Ended up being a nice one. Woke up to some money. Posted the updated core like I always do. I don't know how many people do this, but I know it's not many. But it was Jalen Brunson, Shake Milton, Tobias, Vooch, Hardaway, Josh Richardson. Same pretty much on FanDuel. We hit 296 on DraftKings using the core, and then Dwayne Bacon and Edwards, and then had 362 plus on FanDuel. So went off as Vooch could have done a little bit better. Didn't get any blocks or steals, but all in all, was great. 362 on FanDuel, one of the higher scoring nights of the season so far. So let's get it tonight. Posted the video yesterday, but then the Houston Rockets decided to be a problem because they are limited tonight. At least they should be. So we'll go ahead and break it down again. So let's get started. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy the videos. Before we get started, you can subscribe, check out Twitter, check out the website. All that's in the description. And let's get started. I did a video yesterday, but picks are pretty different. So I'll just kind of run through them pretty quickly. Point guard, it's still LeBron. It looks good if you wanted to go to him. There's some other plays that are going to be priorities. 10-4 against the Pacers, still a great spot just because he's playing without Anthony Davis. He looks great. Westbrook, if he plays without Beal, who's questionable right now, he would be a guy that you would try to jam in as well. Have to wait and see on that news. It's the first game of the slate, so we'll definitely have that news before lock. Then I don't expect Oladipo to play. He hasn't been playing on back-to-back. I do think John Wall will play just because of how limited they are. PJ Tucker's not going to be with the team now. He's going to be looking to get bought out or traded. Eric Gordon's not going to play. They're still without David Nwaba, who had wrist surgery. They're super banged up. So I do expect John Wall to play. I don't think Oladipo will play. Jamal Murray looks all right, 84, but I think there's some better plays tonight. And then you have Ja Morant, Brogdon, Sexton. None of these guys will be super popular. I would probably go with, I think I'd probably go Brogdon, then Morant, then Sexton, unless Garland is out. In the 6K range, it's Conley looks okay, but there's a lot of other plays that will be priorities tonight. MCW is 63. He should still be playing 30 plus minutes. If there's no Terrence Ross, looks like a play that I don't really love, but I wouldn't hate either. And then Shake Milton, I do think Embiid will play tonight, so he's not going to be a guy that I go to at 5,800. And then Cole Anthony, is he questionable? He's out, so there's a chance he returns soon. If he does return tonight, then that would hurt MCW, obviously. And then for value, you can maybe look to, you don't really need to go this cheap here, but if you wanted to punt, maybe you can look to Campazzo. Don't think I'll go to him. But the main ones that I'm looking at here, DeJounte Murray, $7,500. At point guard, he looks great. I do like John Wall just because if they're really limited, even though the matchup is tough, he's just going to get so much usage. And then I would probably go all the way up for Westbrook if there's no Beal. And then I do think you can maybe take a shot on Mike Conley if you wanted to, or Derek White is only 4,900. But DeJounte Murray is going to be the guy. There's no DeRozan. So Spurs and the Rockets, two teams that not many people have had success targeting, and their coaches kind of throw some curveballs at you. But they're looking like a couple of the better teams to target today. Especially, well, the Spurs at least have a better matchup against the Magic. But both teams are not very DFS friendly. At shooting guard, Zach Levine is 96, coming off of a dud against Philly. Shot just 7 of 16, played 32 minutes. 96, so we'll need 60 out of him. The matchup isn't easy against Miami. There are some other spend-ups that I'm looking at tonight. We're looking in the low 8K range at same guys that you could play at point guard. It's Sexton, Brogdon. Both guys look like probably guys I won't get to, but I wouldn't hate you if you play them in a couple of 150 lineups. They should be sprinkled in there. And then you're looking in the value range here. There's plenty of value here. You have Lonnie Walker at 4,400. He'll probably jump into the starting lineup for DeRozan tonight, so he would look okay at that price tag. You have a pretty cheap Dwayne Bacon. If there's no Terrence Ross again, he looks good. And then you also have on the Houston side, Kevin Porter Jr. is $3,200. He's going to have to play big minutes tonight. First game, he played 29 minutes, put up 42. Price tag didn't move on him. They're without Gordon, who they're going to be without most likely Oladipo. They're really limited. There's a chance they could have just 8 guys active. So you're definitely going to want to get to some Houston guys, although they're not fun. Sterling Brown is 45. I'd rather get to some of the cheaper guys in the 3K range, but I don't hate it. But the guy that I like still is Derek White. I'll get to at least some Spurs, at least Derek White and DeJounte Murray. White, if you take DeRozan and Aldridge off the court this season, Derek White's leading the team with 1.31 DraftKings points per minute. He struggled in his first game back, but he's the guy that didn't play. I mean, that was his first game action almost a month, so definitely was rusty out there. But without DeRozan, who handles the ball a lot, there's just going to be a lot of assist opportunities for these guys like both White and Murray. And White's a guy that we know he's a good player. He's just been dealing with a lot of injuries this season, hasn't been able to kind of get it going. Moving on to small forward, definitely look to Butler, definitely look to LeBron if you wanted to. I do like Ingram a little bit. I don't really like Porter at that price tag. Don't like Gordon. He should be limited again, even if there's a chance he probably doesn't even play on a back-to-back after missing so much time. Will Barton is probably a piece that I do like on Ben Reese 54 if there's no Millsap or JaMychal Green. He's a guy that we can look to. If Daniel House is out, then all things go nuts for Houston. If he plays, then they'll probably have 9 guys active at least, maybe 10 if Oladipo happens to gut it out. But assuming that both are out, you're definitely going to want to look to some of these cheap plays on Houston, and it's going to start with Kevin Porter Jr. It's only $3,200. He's going to play some backup point guard minutes. He'll probably start in this game for Eric Gordon. He looks like one of the best value plays. Power forward, Sabonis, not a price tag I'll get to. Zion looks all right on a back-to-back. 91 is kind of at the top of his price tag that I'd like to get to. He gets you a lot of 40s and 50s, but that's exactly what you need out of $9,100. I think you can go cheap here with Jayshawn Tate to play 35 minutes tonight. All these injuries, he looks good as a mid 5K option here at power forward. Do like Kelly Olynyk at 57. And then it's Rudy Gay if you wanted to go to him. Keldon Johnson at only 4,800. And then if you wanted to go to a mid-price guy on the Houston Rockets, it's going to be $3,000 for Kenyon Martin Jr. $3,000 for him, or KJ Martin. He is played 32 minutes against the Kings. It was pretty good out there. Almost hit you 10x. Was 1 rebound shy of a double-double. Should probably play close to 30 minutes if there's no, at least 30 plus minutes if there's no House tonight and no Oladipo. Even if John Wall returns, it's not going to really make a difference. It will just kind of take a lot of Oladipo's usage. But $3,000 looks like one of the better value plays on the slate. Moving on to center, it's Jokic, Embiid, Vooch as your pay-up options. I do expect Embiid to play. There's not going to be Ben Simmons tonight, who's not eligible to return until Saturday. So Embiid playing without Simmons, he's done great all season. He's been better even without Simmons, as you would expect. A little bit more usage. He's just been dominant. I mean, good luck to Wagner, Robin Lopez for slowing him down. He's on an MVP run this season. Good chance he'll get it if he continues to play like the way he is. Sixers remain at the top of the East. He looks tremendous against the Wizards. He's a guy that I'll definitely get to, assuming he's in. And then for value, it's Kelly Olynyk, 5,700. You can. I don't really like to go to Patton. He's like almost 5,000, but if you wanted to, I wouldn't blame you. And that's mainly it at center. Like go all the way up for Embiid if he plays. Go down to Kelly Olynyk at 57, maybe Pirtle at 61. And last but not least, it's going to be Jimmy Buckets, $9,200 going up against his former team, coming off of 62.5. They already ruled out Bam Adebayo for tonight, so that's going to help just get Jimmy Butler some more rebounds, get him a little bit more usage. He's been the facilitator for the team, flirting with triple doubles, kind of taking on a Russell Westbrook role in terms of just getting you a ton of assists, rebounds, taking a lot of shots. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he's a really efficient player. So definitely feel good about him against Chicago. Very bad defensive team. And that's pretty much it for this one. So 7 games, looking at Sacramento. We're looking at San Antonio. We're looking at Houston. Definitely looking at the Sixers, especially Embiid, Tobias, and then I like Jimmy Butler, Kelly Olynyk on the Miami side, and that should just about do it. So let's go ahead and jump over to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel here, looking at the point guard options, still Westbrook looks great even if Beal plays. If you wanted to go to John Wall, looks better, even though the matchup is tough. I mean, there shouldn't be Oladipo tonight if there's no House. He's just going to have to play a ton of minutes. And if they're down 8 guys, then hopefully he'll play and be out there even if his game gets out of hand. Then DeJounte Murray also looks great at 8,200. If you wanted to go to the cheaper Spur, then you can go to Derek White, who's only 5,400. And then also Malcolm Brogdon is really cheap. He's only 6,600. So there's plenty of point guard options tonight. You even have Dennis Schroeder as a decent value play at 57. And MCW is definitely in play here, especially if there's no Terrence Ross. And he's 4,900 compared to 63 on DraftKings. I am going to go with Derek White. Just looking at the numbers, he should benefit big time without DeRozan. Price tag is really nice, and I don't know if it'll be super popular. People haven't been that pleased with him. Moving on to shooting guard, looking at some of the mid-range plays, I don't think I'll go all the way up to Beal or Zach Levine. I like Colin Sexton here at $7,800. Nice price tag for him. He's been playing a lot better. Garland is questionable with a groin injury. If he misses, then you'll see Sexton take a big jump in assists like he has been. Plays an absolute ton of minutes. They run a pretty tight rotation, and $7,800. He looks like a great shooting guard option right now. If Kevin Love does play, that might hurt him a little bit in just some sort of usage rates. But I think he looks good enough right now. The position as a whole isn't loaded with a lot of options in that range besides Donovan Mitchell. Then I would look to Lonnie Walker at 5,200. I would probably look to. It sucks that a lot of these Houston guys aren't eligible. Like I don't think you have any of these Houston guys that we could play at shooting guard if you wanted to go cheap here, except Ben McLemore, but he's not exciting to play. Small forward is where we'll get to some of these Houston guys. You have Jimmy Butler also here at 9,600. We have Terrence Ross, if he does play, he's only 57. That is a really good price tag to jump on. You have Keldon Johnson, who looks fine at 54, but not the best play because you have also, I don't know if Larry Nance will play tonight. Oh, yeah, they said he'll play today. So Larry Nance is back. That could hurt some of the, well, it's going to hurt Teddy a lot. But I don't know. They might limit him on his first game back. But looking at some of these Houston pieces, it's Kevin Porter at $4,900. And then you have Martin at $3,500. Right now, I just plug in Porter. 49 is still a really good price tag if they're banged up like we expect them to be. Should get you 32 to 35 minutes tonight. Moving on to power forward, it's Sabonis looks really good at that price tag compared to his DraftKings number. Zion looks good as well, but Sabonis looks better to me just because he gets you a little bit more all-around production. And then I definitely won't be going to Millsap at 63 or Kevin Love or Kyle Kuzma. I would look to Jayshawn Tate at only 4,700. I'd look to Morris at 4,100 for value. But it's going to be Sabonis right now. 89 is just a nice tag to jump on. And then last but not least, at center, it's Jokic, Embiid, Vooch. If you want to pay up for one of them, it's going to be Vooch. It's going to be Embiid for me. If you wanted to go cheap, you can look to Kelly Olynyk, who's 4,500. So we'll see if you want to go Olynyk or Embiid. Both guys look pretty good. See what the lineup takes me by the end of the day, but I'll probably pick between Embiid and Olynyk depending on some more news we get. If you wanted to go Olynyk, you can, and then pay up for some of the other spots, but we'll see what happens. But it's between those two for me on FanDuel at least. So that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck tonight, and see you all next time.